2015. Welcome to everyone who is tuning in as well on the main live stream, as well as to the TV, YouTube, the stream platform, anywhere around the world. Welcome to the International 5.
Yeah, warm welcome to everyone. This is so amazing to be part of starting the TI cast here. And by the looks of it right now, we just see 3-4 actually, as Ember is running ahead a little bit here of Vega moving top, as a ward was placed bottom by Clockwork.
Yeah, this is
just defensive movements.
Yeah, this is more of a let's just get control of the earlier vision of the lane by the looks of it. When you run 4 players down to the bot lane for CDEC, you are of course running an Undying, so you're leaning towards running an aggro, right?
Yeah.
Whenever you got the Undying.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Whenever you draft Undying, you're extremely likely to try and take over control on the enemy lane.
30 seconds to battle.
And that is pretty much the purpose of this hero, is to make it difficult for the enemy to lane. That is...
So what happens then when Vega are doing what they're currently doing, which is the dodge? You put the Clockwork on the bottom and you run an aggro tri-lane top.
Yeah, Clock is extremely hard to dive as well, so it is a good defensive hero to have, and he has plenty of regen with him. I believe they should have realized this now, as they didn't run into anyone. That is some form of defensive lane they're going up against. Or, I mean, aggressive lane and putting a solo safely. And this is when you have the option to do a switch. They do see Shadow Fiend taking top rune, DK gets the bottom. But you gotta keep in mind that switching means a lot of running, or buying a TP scroll, which also is pretty expensive early on.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they'll switch. Just like Garda do the block in mid, set up for Shiki, and they'll leave the Spirit Breaker to run the off lane. So it will be a Spirit Breaker off lane played by XZ. He'll be going up against Mag's Clockwork. Mag's gonna really enjoy this lane. As long as Spirit Breaker doesn't get 70% chance to win the lane, he's gonna have a really good time there. And he's actually left alone to do his own thing in the lane.
Yeah, and there's also a little bit of running around the mid lane with both the Undying and Disruptor was there earlier, but he's gonna be pretty fine against the DK solo mid. Whenever you're playing Shadow Fiend versus DK, I think you're pretty comfortable.
Yeah. I also want to keep my eyes on bottom lane. Watching Mag's movement against XZ, like it's just a small little thing, but he gets in it behind the Spirit Breaker, just making it feel like he can just cog burn him out. And there's not really a lot of mana for the SP to work on, even though he went for Bash, but top lane, they're coming in pretty close. And Seema, with the creep wave being pulled over, they're seeing the CDEC supports coming in from the trees, but nothing's going to happen from here. This is now the battle for lane dominance.
Yeah, and that pull is a little bit of a farm trade as well, because that means that Dire can actually try and farm the neutral creeps here as well as the Radiant creeps. But, of course, you get safe lane farm under a tower for the Ember, so he's protected there.
So, at this point, I'd say it's just been nibbling lanes. No one's trying to go for anything, which is probably, like you say, it's almost not favoring CDEC to have this happen, because they've got themselves dying. Like, you want to be adding early game pressure to this.
Yeah.
You've got to create a Pain, who at this point doesn't even have a level in anything, doesn't really find the point, like, do you need to save that blink to get away? In fact, yep, there you go. Saving the point, gets the blink, and escapes to safety.
Yeah, she had to there as well. The Searing Chains have pretty good range, so she was close to get into that. Bottom lane, though, is going really, really well for Vega as well. So CDEC are not doing too hot on these two lanes, but mid, they have a 9 CS on their DK already, so did a good job last hitting in there in the beginning. Lane is going to get harder, though, against Shadow Fiend. When he stacks up some damage, it gets progressively harder for DK.
Yeah, and the SF also, like, you're obviously realizing he's not going to have stacks because you're running an aggro tri-lane on top. It doesn't take long to move back, do a couple of stacks, and have the SF flash farm. So even if he's behind by just a couple of CS, it's not a victory for the DK. Sort of like one of these weird things with when Vega run their DK, they put the 4 points up and breathe fire by level 7. They want to have that nuke power, so then you can roam in and get the gank off. But in this scenario, like, you're not going to roam in, like, you could roam in the SB, he could leave from bottom lane. It's
curious that he actually puts those 2 points just for extra regen and armor against him, putting 2 points into Dragon Blood. But I suppose it can be worth just to feel a little bit more safe in early laning here. He knows that people aren't going to gang him from top, or at least now that one person is attempting to do so, he should be aware of this, because someone is missing and they have a very good ward on top lane. He's fully aware of this gank.
I need to hit the concussive shot. That's the only way this will really work. And well, here it comes. They concussive with the orbs, but it's only going to chip the DK down. And with 2 bottle charges up his sleeve, there's no real problem coming from this. And in fact, it now gives CDEC more confidence for Garda as well as Q to get closer on both Seema as well as Pasha here, because he didn't realize the support is gone.
Exactly, and that means that there's free farm going on for the Queen of Pain, and she's a dangerous hero to go up against on the lane for Ember. If she starts getting some items, if she gets the power turns, she can do so much work in the early skirmishes. So let's see, are they actually going to try and do a kill here? I don't think that they have the tools.
Until Solo gets Seal, it doesn't really feel like it's possible.
Yeah, they definitely need it. They need level 3 on the Skyrath, and that's quite a way away as well. So they need to wait.
To fight into Tombstone and have the hero you want to kill having a blink ability, yeah, it's... This is a very more passive kind of start, but something which we probably should look at a little bit more. While this top lane is simmering, ready to boil over, the bottom lane, Mag is now 22 for 10 up against a 17-3. So the CS is coming both ways. For both Spirit Breaker and Clockwork are these wonderful rotation heroes. We have to look for their timing and who do they actually try and kill off? Where do you try and swing the balance of the lanes?
Yeah, definitely. I think that any lane is fine for either of these to gank when they have their levels. When they have level 6, they can actually go and kill anywhere. So they are the ones to set the pace. Just in a few more minutes here when we actually see Spirit Breaker is just now about to hit level 5. But
top lane, they found their opening. It's Disruptor with the heal bomb. That's Vega striking quick and fast with the Tombstone's down. They're trying to get rid of it while Pasha's still in pretty deep. They're throwing more orb damage out to the Queen of Pain. But the first blood is spilt and Vega will take it.
Yeah, and a lot of magic stick charges now for Ember as well. Very important to get the first blood on this offlane. That was going pretty well, but not amazing for them. And now a little bit more control added to them there.
It's almost that situation where you feel like the Ember can function. Like, he's not getting huge amounts of CS. We're not seeing him with, like, high levels, but when Mag starts to rotate, you shift the Ember down the bot lane. He's gonna catch up with all these levels and farm. So it kind of feels like right now Vega's in a very commanding position lane-wise.
Yeah, they are, and they don't need to extend that far as well. With their two supports, they've been, you know, they made one attempt with Solo going into mid, but I think that Dazzle and Skyrath can just sit here, protect their Emperor, and when he has level 6, which is all mid, he
went to Dragon Form. Now, they don't have Glimpse of Bubble, they can wall him up, but in comes Sigma with Shallow Grave. It's, it would have been a wonderful kill if they could get it, but the chances of that working out were very low.
Well, they forced a rotation at least, and also when you're playing DK trying bottom, he's coming in with a stun.
They don't have level 6, they need that one creep to die, and now you actually have the Nether Strike arrive for the Spirit Breaker. Mag's still on the run, but the Battery Assault's making it difficult. There's the jump back, and you actually got him on the back, but then hook shut down to the creep wave. Mag is running away with the Breeze Fire, just on the tip of it, was able to reach Mag and bring him down.
Wow, that was such a clutch kill, that was really close. That was beautifully executed as well. That TP and initiation from the Spirit Breaker was well communicated.
But how much did you have to commit to this? You rotated the DK down. He threw out everything he basically had. You're committing in Nether Strike as well. And you're killing off the safe lane Clockwork, who is now... that's a hook shot too, so that's okay.
That's a high priority kill, honestly. And for DK to go and try a gank is perfectly fine. You don't really want to be statically laning against Shadow Fiend, because Shadow Fiend will farm the lane and farm the jungle, whereas DK, he will only be able to take the 4 creeps that are coming in every wave.
CDEC might feel a little bit more defensive about top lane now. Their Observer Ward, which was sitting on the lane, is timed out.
Yeah.
So they don't see the movement of Vega until they plant down a new one.
Yeah, they saw him, of course, take this stack in, or this camp in jungle here, but they should try and force out another lane ward there. Very important to have for them.
So we've got a little bit of a bait being prepared in mid. Observer and Sentry giving CDEC really good vision across the mid, especially now we're in nighttime phase. You need to keep tabs on where Vega is moving, including the Clockwork. But he's actually showing himself on bottom lane, so Mag, not showing a desire to gank on another lane, but that's because it's more of a trap. He's waiting for the Spirit Breaker to come in close. Now the vision, they don't see him. The vision is actually cut to roughly around this point on the bottom lane. Yep. And that's why he's rocketing up, trying to find out where XE has moved to.
Yeah, tried to find him, but could not. And Clockwork going down there after he died using his hook shot was really the only thing he could do. Now gonna give over the lane for free farm for Ember, and Clockwork will try his ganks. Yep. So look for mid, that's probably what he's gonna try. Stop the DK's early game, and if you just get a nice hook and cog on him, that's an easy double race. So, meanwhile Dazzle is just solo laning at top. He doesn't care at all. He's getting some nice farm up there.
How does CDEC even prepare to fight against this? Like, you know the Clockwork's going to start moving around. Do you just try and deward? Do you, in fact, just do this? Like, you got an Observe Ward on the bottom river area. So, like, just see where they're coming from. Do what you were talking about with Vega. Keep vision up against Spirit Breaker. This time it's against the Clockwork.
Yep, and DK actually forfeiting the top bounty rune as he saw the Clockwork kind of stalking him there. He's like, okay, you take that. I'm just gonna play this one safe. You don't want to die much early game on DK, because that's really when you need to get your levels up and start taking down tier 1 towers. It's the objective-based gaming hero.
Can they actually push?
It's difficult. Shadow Fiend always clears the wave so fast. I believe they need to combine it with the Spirit Breaker. Somehow find a pickup, find a gank, and then push. Because if you don't, I think you put yourself at risk for the clockwork too much.
I'd say is that possible with their Observer Warding because it's so defensive, but they're going to go for a smoke underneath the tier 2 tower now.
Yeah.
So this is what you were talking about. Find that kill, move into objective-based gaming as far as buildings go.
They will go for mid, I'm pretty
fall
sure.
For it. That is a good start.
Yeah, they do not go on the illusion as they are smoking here, and they're gonna run in for mid. They know there's Shadow Fiend and Dazzle. They saw both of these heroes. Oh boy.
Yeah, he's coming over, and no one's so close. They start with the decay, and with also the jump in, that Nether Strike. No one being kept alive, and you'll also have the Shallow Grave looking to wind up for a couple of raises, but that's all. The DK also in very, very deep here. No one will eventually go down.
Oh, 17.
There's that 17%, and he gets a double on the Dazzle. So he'll end up dropping, and Vega, they leave him alone. They do not come in, try and contest and take, because it would have been a 5-on-5.
Yeah, this is beautiful by CDEC, and this is exactly what you want to do. Now they can actually push a tower because they brought down these heroes, and moving everyone in here just to try and get rid of this tower immediately. But I believe the defense is there. Clockwork, look at him. Trying, but it's too many.
CDEC, this is the great presence of mind. Like you saw it from XZ before, like you knew, okay, it's nighttime, we don't know exactly where the Ember is, it's probably around the same time, you're looking for that rotation, so he backs off the lane. And now, you just took the fight, you do significant damage to the tier 1 tower, but you don't overstay your welcome, realizing the Clockwork is missing, and the potential for Vega to get some counter kills.
Yeah, without Tombstone, you don't want to stay there inviting the enemy to take a team fight when it's down. And we're probably going to see a counter smoke here. Looking at smoke from just the 2 supports of Vega, going up to top lane with Clockwork. Pretty good choice. Always fight around the Clockwork and Spirit Breaker. Play towards these heroes that got a nice early game with some farm and high levels, of course.
It is kind of funny though, like normally it's the Clockwork moves around, not just the supports, but
sometimes it's better to just go behind him, because right now CDEC don't think that Clockwork is going to be ganging anywhere. If he just stays here on lane and tries to farm, they might think that he's alone. It's a pretty good play, but they don't see any of the supports anywhere on the map, and Clockwork, Queen of Pain, sorry, is playing very defensively as a result.
They might get to see Garda in a moment, like Solo is just twitching in the trees, and now he'll come out. So the reveal is up, they realize what's going on there. How's their bottom lane doing? Because the Ember Spear is still farming up. Phase boost, poor man's shield, bottle, it's looking quite decent for him, and it looks like there's also a bracer on the courier for him.
He's doing a good job of just buying up some defensive items here. Trying to be aggressive onto the Spirit Breaker, probably not going to go for a killer. But look at the Shadow Fiend and his CS right now. He's up at 88 last hits, 11 minutes in. That is very, very high farm.
Full mech 11 minutes. Does this now give Vega a position where they can push? Like you're talking already about the ability to have your armor and your bonus from that. If you add a mech on top of what Siemens already putting into the fight, can Vega force a 5-man engagement against Tombstone and Disruptor and Sonic Wave?
I believe they can.
It sounds like a lot to go through, but it's enough.
It's a lot about who initiates and how it goes. I mean, if you land the Skyras Silence perfectly, or if you get a good Clockwork hook, you can definitely take the team fight, but I still would give the edge purely based on heroes to CDEC, but having the mech is a huge factor. It's a really, really big factor to fight before the enemy team has one. Another smoke coming in here, going from CDEC.
Yeah, 3-man down to the bottom.
See if they can actually find someone. They have 2 points in Glimpse, so 2 points in Kinetic Field. I think I can't really say that I agree with that, because maxing Glimpse is so much more useful.
It's like they're bringing in the Spirit Breaker too. The charge is on the way in, and Spirit Breaker will Ember back behind the tier 1 tower. They have to pull out this, or else they're going to be in way too deep. The Searing Chains actually cancels actually underneath the tower. Disrupt rolling, it cancels off the Dazzle. He couldn't get a Shallow Grave off. We do have extra TPs coming in, but it's now isolating Mag on the other side. They Sonic Wave, they stun him up, they breathe fire. His 2 heroes lost now for Vega, and they didn't get anything in return apart from what? A Tombstone down? Still in a great position for CDEC.
That's the initiation. They just go and they're actually going to find more hairs to keep charging.
Yeah, they run up to Solo. There's that bash back. You do get the ulti off, and Pasha back in the fight with the Scream. Aggressive in behind him. They'll seal him up for the moment, but there's not enough dash coming out.
Shadow Fiend is so strong.
They keep losing more, but maybe yes. A double kill in there for Pasha. Shiki with the quick TP out. The Searing Chains cancels it, and this is the counter kill. This is what CDEC avoided in the middle lane, and it's exactly what has happened to them on the bot.
Yeah, that was They should just have played a little bit more safe there. They used up the tombstone, then they proceeded to dive even further. You need to fight with the tombstone, or Vega is actually really strong. That mech came into nice play there, denying a lot of the AU damage, and they did not lose important heroes.
They committed so much for the kill. You see when Mag TP'd in, he TP'd to the eastern side of the tier 1 tower.
Yeah.
You throw out
Dire's
Sonic Wave
bottom
onto
tower
a
is
solo
under
clockwork. The damage
Dire's
output could have come
structures
from
are
maybe somewhere else.
fortified.
Disruptor, yes, he brought down the Dazzle, and there wasn't that survivability coming in from him, but you expected all these different abilities, and then that allowed Vega to continue the fight.
Yeah, I mean, they dove really hard and killed the Clockwork Dazzle immediately, which was very good for them as well.
Yep.
Could maybe have secured a tower, but you still have to respect the fact that Ember hurts a lot. Now, he got 3 kills out of that fight. So he get a lot of levels and now has drums along with Forma Shield. So he's pretty tanky now compared to how he would be
He's almost up
previous
to
this fight.
the SF's net worth.
Yeah.
The SF's sitting at 5.7k right now, and the Ember's just shy of 5.4.
Yeah, that's where a 40 CS difference.
Yep, and then you hit the Dire side. Then you hit the DK, and on bottom lane, Garda, you can't try and stand against it. It's like he's going to put the Tombstone down and then a Spirit away.
Yeah, that's very good. He just forced a defensive Tombstone. That's a pretty long cooldown skill, so you know for a